The dawn of a new season brings the dawn of a new era for this franchise. There's a new coach in charge, tasked with guiding this team to the peak of the NFL. For someone with dreams of reaching Canton, this first day and their first interview will set the stage for a career to come.
Welcome everyone to episode 2 of the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. Today, as you can see, we're having our first introductory interview as they asked me that I come into the league as a brighter defensive mind and what we think our defense will have the biggest edge this year, and I believe I answer pass rush here. Anyways, you're going to slowly see this play out. This episode is mainly the preseason highlights, cuts, all that stuff, setting up for regular season. So next episode is going to be game 1. As you can see, an ability unlocks here, which I still don't really know anything about the abilities, but we're going to figure it out. Area off the field area, obviously I want to develop players. That's just what I want to do. I want to try to develop, keep this defense good as long as possible. Obviously I want to work on the offense as well, but if I were to be an NFL guy, I would probably be an NFL defensive coach because I think I'm just better all around on the defensive side. So that's why I ended up doing this for the series. It's probably should have been offensive because of the Steelers situation, but again, like I said, I'm more defensive in real life. As you see, the position I chose was corner because we have 2 old corners, so I want to develop them. And then success, we're going to get relentless pressure going for that. So that sets up a bunch of abilities that we unlock early and sets our goals for the season early on here.
Some turmoil threatens their roster in the early season. A challenge has been made for a top spot on the depth chart. Competition breeds success, but coaches will decide how far the competition goes.
And as you can see, we have roster turmoil here. Kenneth Gainwell thinks he could be the starter. Spoiler alert, he's not going to be a starter even if he did win this. But we did give him a chance. Start the preseason strong, I believe, is the one I choose. The one that has the first game goal. But he doesn't end up hitting it anyway. But Jaylen Warren's most likely our number 1, and he's most likely our number 2. So I don't know why he's too worried about being a starter. Sorry if I am fucking with the mic. I'm trying to adjust it here. But, yeah, I don't know. He's never going to be a starter for us. Maybe he's a very good third down back. Maybe a third down back number 2. I want to rotate a lot of our running backs throughout anyway. So we are going to jump in here to the first game of the season, or first game of the preseason. Oh, I lied. We're going to talk to our trainer about wear and tear and all that stuff. I guess I left this in. If you guys didn't see this, wear and tear is now in the game. They're basically telling me how it works. I already understand most of it because I played college football. It's a little different in this game. But, yeah. The trainer's explaining everything. Talking about, like, abilities, staff abilities, wear and tear, and all that stuff for weekly strategy, which I still don't really know much about the abilities, but we will figure it out as this year goes on, and I will probably never pick the right thing. And his name's Aditya. I used to have a friend named Aditya. I wonder if he became a trainer. I doubt it. But after this amazingly interesting conversation that I had with good old Aditya, our trainer, we're going to jump into the first preseason game against the Jaguars, where we will start off on offense as it is almost here. There we go. Offense here. First play of the preseason. Aaron Rodgers, a simple handoff to Warren. Warren cuts it right, and he is gone. First play of the preseason. It is 68-yard rushing touchdown from Jaylen Warren, our starting running back. And I want to mention this now. This whole preseason highlights, they're cut up. Not every game will be like this, but since it's 2 games, I didn't play the third game. I didn't care to play the third game. I saw enough in the first 2. But if you guys want me to do 3 games next year, show all the highlights, I can do that. You can see our first defensive possession here. We get an 8-yard gain here on second down. ETN gets stuffed by Joey Porter Jr. And then 3rd and 1, they try to QB sneak it, and someone flew over the line, basically stopped Lawrence, and kept it to a 3-and-out for our defense. Like I said, though, this game's going to jump around a lot. I'm trying to show highlights / lowlights. Here's Aaron Rodgers' first pass. It's a dump off to Jaylen Warren. Gets about 7 on that. Now Rodgers here. Quick fast, and he finds DK Metcalf here. First connection for these two of hopefully many. But like I said, this does jump around, so randomly you'll see me just jump from 1 play on offense to like 3 plays on defense and then back to offense. It's just showing highlights. I didn't record the full games. I only recorded clips, as you can see here. DK Metcalf gets hurt on a loss of 3, bringing us 3rd and 13, where Rodgers will try to look for the first down. He gets sacked, and we will get the injury update on DK Metcalf, as it is not a serious injury, but I think we kept him out for the rest of the game anyway. Which then we jump to the Jaguars after getting a field goal there. 1st and 10, Lawrence steps back, and TJ Watt gets in the backfield, who is probably going to be up there in the sacks leader. I will try not to use him too much, but I mean, it's going to be hard not to use him. They eventually drove down the field, and with 21 seconds left on the clock, he finds, I think it's Brian Thomas Jr. for a touchdown, so the starters for the Jaguars get on the board. As that was the last play for our starters, I believe. We might have had 1 or 2 on offense. Right here. Mason Rudolph checks into the game. I checked him in early. Jaylen Warren up the middle. Great blocking. And that would finish off. He had 4 carries for 80 yards in basically 2, I think maybe 3 possessions. And I guess we have another starters play here. 1st and 10, Rudolph, who checked in early. He gets sacked, and now that ends it for the starters, as I didn't see who got the sack there. But now we go on to the defense with our second unit, and Nick Mullins, looking like an all-star quarterback here, dumps it for Tanks Bigsby. He breaks the tackle and gets gained about 26. Our second unit defense not looking too well. Guys like Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig are out there. In motion is Trenton Irwin, and he gets a first down on the touch pass here. Gains about 10 to 20, maybe? I don't know. 2nd and 8 now here at the 16. Mullins put in a good drive together for Jacksonville. He hands it, or he doesn't hand it. He dumps it off to number 10. I don't know who that is. For a short game, making it 3rd and 3. So now Jaguars 3 yards away, getting in the red zone. Steelers second unit comes in on. Pressure is brought. I think Harmon sacked him. Recovered by Jack Sawyer and ends the drive there. The rookie recovers a sack from, I think it was Herman. Here's Caleb Johnson now. First play of the next possession. He gets a big gain here. Nice run for the rookie running back who's fighting for the number 2, but he needs to do a lot of work, honestly, because, like I said, though, I'm going to mix them all in anyway, so it doesn't really matter who's number 2, number 3. The next play, we do a toss the other way to Kenneth Gainwell, and he gets a good gain as well. So back-to-back good runs from our backup running backs. Later in the drive here, Rudolph will hand it to Jonnu Smith. Yeah, great play call. We're all Atlanta Falcons here. Huge run for Jonnu Smith, though, as he gets it inside the red zone to where Mason Rudolph will throw a beautiful ball to the back of the end zone. But Roman Wilson, or maybe Skoranek, I didn't see who it was. Maybe Miller. He drops it in the end zone now, 2nd and 10. Fires it outside, and it's dropped again. That one was Roman Wilson, bringing it 3rd down. Rudolph, quick throw, hits Smith, and drops it. So 3 drops here for the backups, holding us to a field goal. Now later in the second quarter, 2-minute drive, starting 2nd and 2, Caleb Johnson inside handoff. He gets a lot more than 2 yards here as he brings it just to about midfield, as he's showing some good signs here early on. We now jump to a 4th and 3 at midfield, which we are going for, and yeah, we're psychos. We run the ball, and Caleb Johnson's going to easily get that and then some here. He has 3 rushes for 54 yards already. Timeout by Steelers as they try to get some points to end the quarter here. 20 seconds left. On a 2nd and 3, Mason Rudolph looking, and he just lofts one perfectly in for Scotty Miller, who brings it down to the 4. And with 14 seconds left, we get a inside the 5 situation. 1st and goal. Rudolph looking. Number 1 target is Clock, so is number 2, but he fits it in to Scotty Miller, who is grittying out here. Why, I don't know, and why his name isn't Scotty Miller, I don't know. But the commentator said Scotty Miller, so I'm cool with it. Third quarter starts, an absolute beautiful pass here, but a great play by Trice Jr. to make it incomplete on second down, to make it 3rd and 11 now, as Mullins now sending the offense with 3 wide and a tight end on the line to the right. Motion man, I don't know who that is, actually. It's still number 10, who I still don't know who number 10 is. But Mullins looks left side. It is complete. I think that is Brayboy or something like that. He burns Trice all the way to the end zone for a 60-yard touchdown. So one play after Trice makes a good play, he allows a good play. Now 20-14, Jacksonville back on offense here. 1st and 10, I believe. Quick pressure from Sawyer and Herbig. He is sacked. Rookie, and I think Herbig's like a 2nd or 3rd year man. They were very good this game, the backup linemen. Here's a deep ball to Trenton Irwin. I did not see who played coverage there, but a beautiful play, making sure it's incomplete and making it 4th and 16 and ending the drive for the Jaguars. Rookie quarterback Will Howard now on the field, and his first couple plays did not go well. Throws a pick here, trying to force it to Roman Wilson, who was absolutely locked down by Jerry Jones. I don't know why Will Howard threw that ball, but Jacksonville would end up driving down later off that pick. Down inside the red zone, Mullins is pressured and sacked, and there's Herbig again. He had a phenomenal game here in the first game. I think he ended up with like 3 sacks. We check at the end of the game. Probably spoiled a couple. Anyway, 3rd down, Will Howard has another chance, and he, instead of forcing the ball like I would have, he gets sacked and knocked way out of field goal range. And now, Jaguars have the ball again. Perfect throw. That's the Brayboy. Yeah, Chandler Brayboy working on Trice yet again. So now 1st and 10 after a good play. Mullins back in the gun. He's been in the gun the entire game. I don't think he ever took an under center snap. Hands it off to the running back here, who then gets a 1st down and then some. So Jacksonville working on a drive here late in the 3rd. Goes into the 4th now, 2nd 11 midfield. Mullins quick fired to Irwin. Gets a 1st down and then some again. So about 16 there. And Jacksonville looking to take the lead. Next play, Mullins out of the gun. He's looking and he is pressured and forces it out of bounds. Jack Sawyer coming off the left edge to bring that pressure. 2nd down now. Mullins, same deal, facing pressure. Looking, Sawyer, now Herbig getting at him, and he throws it away again. So again, the young backup lineman, getting some pressure here, trying to save our team as it's now 3rd down, 10 to go. Mullins under pressure again, or is actually calm in the pocket, but then he gets under pressure, and there's Nick Herbig. I always forget his first name. I'm still learning the roster, all right? We shut out Jacksonville there. Next possession for the Steelers, it's Caleb Johnson up the middle. Great blocking. Great run there to the 35. And now he has 90 yards on 8 carries. 2nd and 10 now on the drive. Caleb Johnson's going to get a screen pass here. A little difference. Gets great blocking. And he is way down the field now to the 42 of Jacksonville. And now the Steelers are putting in a good drive, but now it's 4th and 11. We're going for it because it's midfield. Pressure on Will Howard. He just lays the ball out there, and Scotty Miller gets by the defense and puts up his 2nd touchdown of the game. A beautiful throw under pressure by Will Howard. Beautiful catch and run and route ran by Scotty Miller. Here is Nick Mullins getting sacked. I think that was Logan Lee. I can't really see. The screen is very small on my end here. But Lee gets the sack, I believe. If not, our D-tackle gets the sack. So now 3rd and 7. Mullins comes back looking, and he fires it to a wide open tight end who is almost about 30 yards of open space before he gets tackled at the 28. So now Jacksonville right back down the field. Now to 21 on a 3rd and 3. Mullins running, and Sawyer's on the ground. I don't know what the hell happened. But 1st down for Jacksonville. As we now go to 1st and goal, where Jacksonville will put up some points here with about 3 minutes left in the game to make it a 27-24 game. Will Howard here on 2nd and 8 will try to quick fire one to Roman Wilson, and does, to make it 3rd and 1 at midfield. On 3rd and 1, Howard rolls out, fires it to Howard, What a great connection. For the first down, our third string tight end, or fifth string, I don't even know what he is. But we dump it off. Roman Wilson drops it on a key 3rd and 11 with 2 minutes left. So now we have to punt it to Jacksonville again. And now Jacksonville looking for a game-winning drive here. And Herbig is back. 3rd sack there as he gets there. I think he has a couple half sacks, which is why I'd only said 3. But he's back again, causing pressure the next play, forcing Mullins to throw it away. Now 3rd and 15. Jacksonville needs a big play here to take it. Has all the time in the world and just lays out a beautiful ball past Trice. That is Bray Boy again, I believe. Trice just got burnt like 3 or 4 times when it mattered the most. And then right up the middle, Trice again getting burnt for the touchdown. Granted, it was a bad play call to do that. But 43 seconds left. Jacksonville now has their first lead of the entire game, I believe. And a kickoff return for Jameson. That was actually our worst kick return. I believe I showed the stats after this game. Yeah, that was our worst one. But now Will Howard has to come out here and orchestrate a game-winning drive in his first preseason or NFL game in general. First play, steps back, fires to Roman Wilson, who does jump backwards. So it's 2nd and 3. Timeout used early. Howard rolling out. Evades the pressure, resets his feet, and fires to Kenneth Gainwell, who gets a huge gain here for the first down, and then a lot more. So now on the other side of the field, quick throw. That is Scotty Miller. Gains 9 there. 19 seconds left. Now we're just outside the red zone. Miller, Johnson, Wilson left. Parham's right as he quick throws to Parham here for the first down at the 15-yard line now. Will Howard is doing a beautiful job here. We're getting suggested the same 3 plays because Madden. And now 1st and 10. Howard under pressure feels it, dumps it off Parham, who gets the first down and is just barely short of the goal line here. So it's 1st and goal from the 1. And I, for some reason, picked a pass play. I don't know. Okay, I audible to a run. Caleb Johnson here. He goes soaring through the air for the touchdown, and with 9 seconds left, the Steelers would take the lead. One final play for Jacksonville after a kick return. Mullins throws it up to the left because it's the only Hail Mary they ever pick. Trenton Irwin actually caught that, but doesn't matter because the game is over, and we would win game 1 of the preseason 34-31. An actual pretty decent game for, backups and stuff. You can see all the stats here. Will Howard was our best quarterback. Rudolph did terrible, but he got a touchdown pass, and Rodgers didn't really throw the ball too much. Caleb Johnson, the rookie out of Iowa, 12 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Warren also had 4 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. Gainwell even had 5 for 49 or something like that. Our running game was working, but you don't want to run every time here. You can see Bray Boy, 6 for 143 and a touchdown. He just cooked our defense, as you can see all these other stats here because I'm going way too fast. And now you see sacks allowed here from our linemen. I will say one of the issues, or the big issues I saw after this game, was the fact that Trice got burnt 4 times, but Herbig, he had 3 sacks, a bunch of other sacks for some backups there. Jerry and Jones, Derek Harmon forced the fumble earlier, which Jack Sawyer recovered. And you can see Corey Trice, he had 1 deflection, and then all hell broke loose for him after that, as he ended up allowing, 150 yards in 4 plays, right after getting a deflection. Wasn't a great game for him. We then jump to the film room here to talk to Kenneth Gainwell, to talk about how his performance was not good enough. I mean, he had the yards per carry by a long shot. However, he did not hit the touchdown, so I guess my coach is very disappointed in him. We never really gave him a chance. I mean, we could have easily handed him the ball off to end the game. He could have done the same thing Caleb Johnson did. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. But going on to the next preseason game, a monsoon here in Pittsburgh. 2nd and 11 here. Rodgers, 3-step, 5-step, throws a bomb to Metcalf, but just overthrows him, and hopefully that's not a theme to come this year because Metcalf is open so many times down the field, and I need some of this out of Rodgers. A beautiful ball from Baker Mayfield to Mike Evans for a 58-yard touchdown on the Buccaneers' opening drive. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but he fell over in the backfield. Next drive for us, Rodgers steps back, floats it, and a beautiful catch here by Robert Woods. I don't know why he was even out there. Honestly, I should not have played him. Just saved him for the regular season. But I played most of my starters. Now 4th and 2, we hand the ball off because we're psychos, and Jaylen Warren gets the first down. I think I went for it on 4th down 5 times in the preseason, and I think every time I ran the ball. 2nd and 7 here, Rodgers tries to quick throw to Metcalf, and he's intercepted by the Buccaneers, so a red zone turnover early on here for Pittsburgh. Don't like the signs of that. If anything on offense, please don't turn the ball over in the red zone. We then subbed out Rodgers and let Rudolph play with the starters instead of Will Howard because I'm dumb. Good pass there from Mason Rudolph to make it 4th and 1. And we do what we do best. We go 4th and short. We're handing that ball off probably to Jaylen Warren. And he breaks it to the outside, gets first down, and then some. Great run here by Jaylen Warren, who had a very impressive preseason. No, he was probably going to be our starter either way. 3rd and 8 now. Rudolph lays a beautiful ball out, and that's Robert Woods. Beautiful ball, beautiful catch, and a touchdown for the old fella, as Rudolph is way too hype. He almost hit the ref. Robert Woods there makes it a 7-7 game later on towards the end of the second quarter. Rudolph, under pressure, he rolls out, hits Jonnu Smith, who I'm actually excited to use this 2-3 tight ends. Because Jonnu Smith is actually a very good number 2 tight end, and Pratt Freiermuth. The Muth is loosed. Rudolph, quick fires, red zone interception number 2, as he's intercepted. I didn't see who the linebacker was. On a quick slant to DK Metcalf, though. And about 2 minutes left, less than 2 minutes, almost a minute left now. It's Baker Mayfield back, and he finds Cade Otton for about 1,010 yards because nobody's guarding him. 163 yards and a touchdown for Baker. He would drive his team all the way down to the 3-yard line, where he would top it off with a nice halfback screen to Bucky Irvin for a touchdown. And then Buccaneers will take the lead going into the half, I believe. We actually checked in Will Howard for 1 possession with the starters. What a smart IQ play by me. He finds the Muth on a dump off for 5 yards. 19 seconds left. Will Howard scrambles a little bit, but then fires it to Jaylen Warren for the first down. So now 14 seconds left. Howard, who has the game-winning drive already under his belt, he'll hand it off to Warren this time and get so many yards. 3 seconds left. We call a timeout. We got into field goal range for Chris Boswell, and unfortunately for Chris Boswell, I don't know how to kick in Madden, so I missed this by 1.5 miles. He probably could hit that, but I suck at kicking. And it's returned, and here's a Jonnu Smith hit stick, because why not? Absolutely murdered that man. But 14-7 going into the half, where Teddy Two Gloves is now on the field for the Buccaneers. And in 3rd and 8, low snap, that's why you wear 2 gloves. Pressure's brought, and Jack Sawyer will get there after, I think, Holcomb or Herbig ran him off to the left. So we now get a drive with the backups, as Will Howard is now playing with the backups. He loads up a deep ball. Roman Wilson has a step and drops it. Probably wasn't going to score, but he had a huge step there. We eventually got by that, and now we are loading up a 2nd and 10 here, where this play I don't think has ever worked for me. I get sacked for a loss of a lot to make it 3rd and 17. Now Skoranek on the left. Wilson in the slot with Miller and I think it was Johnson. It don't matter, though, because we were sacked again. Back-to-back sacks ends the drive here for Pittsburgh, and the game is still 14-7. Teddy Two Glove now at his own 32. Play action, draws it out, and he rolls out. And, yeah, who the hell is that, and why is he doing that to us? Like, he could have used 2 hands. He didn't need 1 there. I forgot that play did absolutely nothing besides how cool that catch was, so that's why I put it in here. Nothing came of that drive, or a field goal came from that drive, and now Will Howard loads one out to Roman Wilson, who drops yet another one. So 2 bad drops for Wilson when he had pretty good hands, I thought. Here's a third deep ball to Wilson, and he drops yet another one. A guaranteed touchdown that time. He goes 0 for 3 on catches here in the early-ish stages of his game here. Howard on third down dumps one off to Skoranek. I don't think he'll ever be in that receiver for us, but hey, you never know, injuries and stuff. 2nd and 11 now. Howard continuing to drive. Kenneth Gainwell, he's all alone on the left side, and he's going to walk in for a touchdown there. And, I mean, that's what I think Gainwell would be good at, is a good receiving back. Jalen Warren's also a good one. And then I think Caleb Johnson is our running back, our pure runner, as he gets to the outside and gets a huge gain here from the 4 to the 34. Simple math is about 30 yards. 2nd and 4 now at about midfield. And it's Skylar Thompson in the game now. I don't know if Skylar Thompson was in last possession. And I don't know how much longer he will be in, as he takes a huge sack fumble trying to make something out of nothing. Why is Antoine Winfield Jr. out on the field? I don't know. 20 to 14, now we're all the way in the red zone with Skylar Thompson. I don't know what the hell happened. We missed so much time. But Darnell Washington will score a touchdown here, the big 6'8" guy. And I guess that was the game winner, because nothing else interesting happened that game. 24 to 20 is your final score. Here are all the stats. You can see Bridgewater and Mayfield pass the ball 22 times each. Yeah, we didn't even come close to that. Skylar Thompson, 7 for 10, though. I mean, he had that one huge fumble. Jalen Warren had a great rushing game. Caleb Johnson had 88 yards on his attempts. And, yeah, our running game is looking like a phenomenal one. It's kind of funny because last year they were one of the worst running teams. But I don't know. Maybe. Roman Wilson, 3 catches, 23 yards, and 3 huge drops. Not excited about that from the second-year man, but maybe he can turn it around in the regular season. I mean, we only have 6 receivers on the roster, I think. Or 7. Like, we didn't have many receivers, so he was almost a lock to make it no matter what. See the rest of the stats here as we're going to soon cut over to, I think we're talking to our trainer again here. Or we're talking about a position. What are we doing here? Position battle? I think Kenneth Gainwell asked us what he wants to develop, and we just told him, yeah. So he wants to know what he should work on. I actually thought about just clicking receiving here, but I believe I do open field moves at the end of it. He's not going to be like an every down back for us, not even an every down third down back, if that kind of makes sense. But when he's on the field, I want him to do well, so hopefully he can work on getting people to miss him in the open field. And then we go over to Aditya, who is back, and he's talking more about injuries in the weekly strategy. I think he asked me if I want to do, which perk to pick. I believe I picked the one where, what's the one I picked? The one where it prevents injuries. If I would hurry up and read this thing faster. The real life me cannot read this well, so it takes me a minute to process all the words. I can't really do any English well, but hey, we finally got there. I picked Practice Protector. I don't know why, but I did. And, yeah, I think that's it for this conversation. We're really glad to have Aditya. But now, I believe I scrolled through the stats first, because I simmed Game 3. Yeah, I already simmed the third game at this point, so these are the end of preseason stats. Rodgers did terrible in that game, oh my lord. But yeah, you can see Gainwell didn't really do anything in his third game. Robert Woods was our leading receiver with Scotty Miller. Roman Wilson ended up with 8 catches, but he had, I think it was 5 drops in the preseason. So it was not the, what's it called? I don't know. I can't think of words. The defensive stack. Nick Herbig had 3 sacks. Derek Harmon had 2. TJ Watt a sack and a half. Same with Jack Sawyer. A good line here. And then Jalen Ramsey in the final game got an interception. He was our only pick of the preseason. And our backup kicker actually went 0 for 2 on extra points. I didn't even see that till now. First things first, we got to cut 22 people. And the first thing I did was cut Corliss Waitman. We already have a punter, and then we end up practice squatting our backup kicker. because, again, we already had a kicker. There was no reason to have two of each, a punter and a kicker. But then we are going to slowly scroll through, and I actually don't remember who I cut. I'm trying to think ahead to what my roster looks like now, but I can't. We had, I think that was 9 corners on our roster. We then start off by putting Corey Trice on the practice squad. He got burnt way too many times for me to keep him on the roster. Same with Deshaun Jameson. He didn't really do much. He didn't do anything bad. He just didn't do much. And then I believe they wanted me to cut Darius Slay for some reason, but I did not. Cut James Pierre because, man, he's an older guy that didn't really need him. And Dante Kemp was actually doing good in the return game, so I wanted to try to keep him originally. I believe I'll end up backing down on that, though. We'll see. Linebackers, I only had 1 Sam and 3 Wills, so I wanted to make sure I kept all the linebackers I can. See, Malik Harrison's our only Sam. But yeah, having 10 D tackles was definitely not needed. I wanted to keep, I think, 4. I don't remember. There was a lot of young guys, which is the problem. I didn't want to cut anyone that was young. Daniel Ekwali, he got cut. Dean Lowry, he got cut. Those guys are older veterans, and we have an older veteran already. The next 3 guys I cut or practice squad are just because we have so many young guys, and these guys just didn't even play in the preseason. So these were the 5 I wanted to keep if I could. So I obviously, as you can see, I come back to it. Leota, he goes to the practice squad. Sawyer and Highsmith are going to stay. Herbig and Watt are going to stay as well. We now work our way through the offensive line. And most of the offensive linemen stay. We do cut our 3rd center, Ryan McCullum, because he's a 53 overall, and my backup center is already rough enough. We don't need a 53. I also practice squad Nick Broker. We have 2 veteran right guards, or left guards. We don't need him to be playing anytime soon. We now go to the tight end where I wanted to keep the main 4, so Connor Hayward had to go, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep the main 4 because Donald Parham, I mean, that's a good tight end crew there. We then go to receiver. Like I said, we only have like 6. Actually, that's 7. 7, so we cut Brandon Johnston. He didn't really do much in the preseason, and I wanted to keep all these other guys. Obviously, we're going to keep the top 3, although they want me to cut Robert Woods. This game doesn't really make sense. We then had Evan Hull to the practice squad, and we had 4 running backs. I decided to only have 3 as we cut Trey Sermon. I think he did have a touchdown in the preseason, but he didn't really do much else. And then same deal with Skylar Thompson. We cut him. He went 7 for 10. But now we had 4 more cuts to do, and I had to make decisions. And I believe I just practice squad 4 more guys. I believe Logan Lee, Deontay Kent, Carson Bruner, and Yaya. Logan Lee, yep. Yaya Black, yes. And then Dante Kent, he's on the practice squad, even though he did a good job. And he might honestly be our first call-up if I ever need it. But that was all the cuts, and you will see the opening day roster here. Depth chart's not set. I think I changed it up a little bit by game 1, but like I said, I'm going to try to get as many guys out here as I can. But yeah, this clip needs to hurry up because I'm struggling with words right now. My voice is my throat's starting to slowly hurt because of how much I talk. But you can see everyone that's on the roster, and the starters are not going to change. It's just really the backups and stuff that might change a little bit. So the starters that you see here are going to start game 1 against the Jets, I think is who we play week 1. I don't actually remember. But, yeah. There's this as we scroll through our lineup. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode and my annoying-ass voice. I gotta make sure I change the Madden commentary down a little bit, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because they are going to be talking way over my ass. Because Madden's commentary is overly loud for no reason. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Next episode is the game versus the Jets. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game. Hopefully he does good because, fuck, man, I know I'm really not excited to have Rodgers. But, I mean, there's not much else. I tried to see if Ben Skoranek was actually a good return man, but he's not, so we just stuck with those return men there. Pratt Fryermuth will never be our kickoff specialist, by the way. Don't you ever worry. He's our emergency guy. But, yeah, third down back is Warren. Our gadget man is Kenneth Gainwell. And then our power back is Warren with Caleb Johnson backing him up. Slot receiver is a mix. Johnny Smith might check in every now and then as slot receiver. But Calvin Austin's going to start there just because he's smaller. So I think Woods is probably better on the outside than him. But yeah, that should be all. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. The preseason highlights. Week 1, like I said, against New York will be out hopefully shortly. But we'll see. I have to edit it still. So let me get on that before I talk about commentating over it. Thank you all for watching this. And until next time, I'll talk to you all later. I am out. Peace.